Sometimes we get a 4-on-3 advantage. Sometimes it's 4-on-4. Sometimes it's 5-on-4. Sometimes it's 5-on-6. Sometimes it's whatever. And giving our attackmen the ability to recognize the differences within those and run our strategies as they come at them is a huge part of the game, where our attackmen are going to learn how they can direct and really take hold of the game. What's going on, everybody? I'm Patrick from POWLAX, where we create confident coaches because confident coaches create great environments for players. And in this video, we're going to be going over one of my absolute favorite transition drills, the full field buildup. This is one of my all-time favorite drills because it's going to have our attackmen learn how to direct our players in every single type of transition offensive situation. So in the basic idea of the game, sometimes we get a 4-on-3 advantage. Sometimes it's 4-on-4. Sometimes it's 5-on-4. Sometimes it's 5-on-6. Sometimes it's whatever. And giving our attackmen the ability to recognize the differences within those and run our strategies as they come at them is a huge part of the game, where our attackmen are going to learn how they can direct and really take hold of the game and make sure that if we're even, we're controlling the ball, we might be doing our subbing, but if we have an advantage, how can the attackmen direct the other players to make sure we are taking advantage of those advantages that we get. It also has a massive hidden conditioning element for some of the midfielders who begin the drill, because it's a full field transition drill where one player is going to have to go up and down the field 7 times. And so it's definitely a cool drill there. But so within this video, we're going to go over the setup. Then we're going to see how the drill is actually run. And then we're going to go over some live examples of what it would look like if our players executed some of the strategic ideas that fall into a lot of these strategies. Some we're going to cover and show, others I'm going to give you references to other videos that cover those. It's going to be a great video. But in other news, this video is brought to you by POWLAX.com. This is where we house and organize all of our lacrosse coaching and player content. And so we got a nice new to lacrosse section. We have a coaching strategy section, which is all the strategies you're going to use to build the different advantages that we have within the concepts of this drill. We've got a practice drill section where this will live. It's going to be in the competition drills somewhere in here. Then we have our practice at home section, which is some wall ball, guided wall ball, and then just kind of teaching players how they can work on technique at home. Then we have our camps and clinics that are local here. And finally, we have our products, which is our POWLAX Silver membership, which is $5 per month, where you get access to all of the playbook PDFs that I've created that accompany all of the videos. We also have a brand new coaches training program that's going to turn you how to create incredible environments for your players from bottom to top. Like, what are the fundamentals you're going to do? What are the drills you're going to use to build your offenses with your defenses, with your rides, your clears, your faceoffs? Everything's covered, even game day. It's an absolutely awesome program. Then we have our master classes of our strategies, where if you've got a strategy that you want to know in depth or you want your players to know, you can either learn it yourself and then test out of it to get a certification, or you can actually send it to your players so that they can test out of it. So when they arrive at practice, they have an understanding of the strategy as a whole, as well as their own individual part within it. It helps all of the players get on the same page so much faster. Then we have the Player and Parents Guide to Lacrosse. If you have anyone who's new to the sport or really wants to learn how to dial in the ideas of the sport at home, this is a great book for them. Finally, we have the digital playbook, and then our other memberships that include some of those other features. But so that's POWLAX.com. Definitely check it out. And now let's get into the video on our full field buildup. So the first part of the video is the setup of the full field buildup, and we are going to use Lacrosse Lab for that. So this is Lacrosse Lab. It is a digital playbook kind of organizer where you can get a free account. You can design and organize your own plays. Then if you want to get a team, you can actually send the drills or the plays to your team. Get a whole roster. You can practice plan, do all kinds of really cool stuff. And then if you want to get access to my playbook for yourself or to share with your team, you can do that through the POWLAX Digital Playbook, as well as the POWLAX Gold membership. That's the one that allows you to send it to your team, but you have to have an account with them and a team to be able to send to. But so once we are in this, we are going to go to drills, competition drills, build-ups, and then our full field build-up. Now, Within our full field buildup, here is our setup. We are going to have 2 complete teams where the offense and defense are going to go in just like they would be in a regular game. So here we have our red goalie and defense on this bottom end, and then the attack on the top end. And blue is the opposite. Goalie on the top, D on the top, and then attack on the bottom. And now we're going to have a line of midfielders out to the right outside the box that are going to enter the drill from their lines. One other big thing is you want to make sure you got a couple balls in each goal just in case one of the balls gets turned over. The goalie can immediately go into the goal, grab a ball out, and send out that next ball. But so here is the general idea for how the drill is going to work. One of the teams is going to have an advantage the entire time. So they're going to have a 4-on-3 advantage, 5-on-4 advantage, 6-on-5 advantage, and then you can give them a 6-on-6 rep at the end. I like to. We're going to cover that, but you don't have to. Then the other team is going to be even going back the other direction. And so we're going to get at least 6, potentially 7 reps of a variety of different numbers advantages. And so here we have the red team leaving first. And so this midi M7 is going to leave. The goalie is going to throw a ball up to him. And now these players are going to run a fast break, right? So he skips it through to the backside. He shoots and scores. And now immediately the goalie is going to grab a ball out, throw it to a midi going the other direction. And now it's going to be a 4-on-4 going back the other way. Now, the midi who left first with the red team is going to stay in the drill the entire time. And so for that player, they're going to go up and back 6 or potentially 7 times. So it's a bit of a gasser for those players. And so now the team is going to come down and play 4-on-4. Then they're going to try to run through whatever they do. Then it's going to go back the other direction, 5-on-4. They're going to play it out. Then it's going to go 5-on-5. Then it's going to go 6-on-5. Then it's going to go 6-on-6 back the other way. And I like to end with the 6-on-6 rep going back the other direction as well, which actually wasn't shown here. But so the entire key to this drill is the fact that when we run all of these advantages, first off, the attackman needs to recognize the advantage and say what to do. And so within each series, there are things they need to say. So say it's a fast break. He needs to tell the player with the ball to draw or to pass it early. That way, the defenseman who he is on, or who's guarding him, right, the point defenseman, has to make a decision. Am I going to go to the ball or am I going to stay on my attackman? And the attackman needs to direct the midfielder so the midfielder knows what to do. Then if it's a 5-on-4 advantage, maybe he's going to say to draw, and then he's going to announce the trailer if the trailing player hasn't done it. But now, one of the final things we have to know within this drill is that sometimes the middies are going to get tired. Maybe the red team has a midi that ends up at X and then isn't in the play when the blue team's carrying the other way. Well, for that session, the blue team is going to have an advantage, and they need to take that advantage when they see it, right? It's not necessarily about creating the exact advantages or even situations that we want. It's about their ability to recognize and then play through them whenever they happen. So if the trailer break happens, but it's actually a fast break, they're going to run the fast break, and that's how it's going to go for each one. You can always get at least the advantage you have, and then if you have an extra type of advantage, you want to use that too. So now we're going to go through each advantage, show a video of what it might look like in a game when you actually get that advantage, and then talk through some of the other videos that you might want to reference that goes over those advantages and what we might want to do. So on the very start of the play, we're going to have a fast break. And so as this player carries in undefended, someone has to slide. As he moves it, now we're into the draw and dump and pass into pressure ideas of our transition offense. And the defense is in there, defend dangerous space, rotate, and play through the middle. And so as he catches it, they all draw and dump, have a great pass, pass down to the left wing there, and then they score a great goal. Next, we have our 4-on-4, and this is a green scenario. So this is any time where we are even, but we have a lot more space than we would if we have 6-on-6. So you'll notice that these two players for, I believe it's Penn, are way up watching the box. And so this is a big mistake. If you're trying to pressure, I could see them doing this, but they need to get into the middle of the field to defend, to be slides. Before that, but so this player just takes his dodge in tons of space, goes and scores. But so that's what green is. It's essentially just a pressing because you have tons of space and you can just beat your man in space, get to the middle of the field and score. Now this one is really cool because it actually has a pass. So as this player dodges through, you'll notice this player could potentially have to slide. They're crashing in on him. Now the ball comes over and through, and they have an absolutely great step down after that pass, which looks a bit like a trailer look, which we have coming up next. Now the next advantage that we're going to have is our trailer break, or our 5-on-4 advantage, with the red team then moving back upfield. And so a trailer break is essentially where the trailing player is open, but the player with the ball is not. So as this player moves into the offensive zone, you'll notice that he is defended here, but the next player in is not. And so as he throws to him, now he has his advantage. He can either draw and dump or step in and shoot like you saw there. The next example that we have is just the same basic idea. As this player carries into the offensive end, now this time he's going to pass down. And so this is a trailer break within a 5-on-6 set. But so as he passes down, sometimes we don't want this player to have the ball. So instead, he's going to throw it to an attackman who we like to have the ball. Then he's going to either set a pick or have someone cut through. And that's going to take the attention of the defense away, leaving someone open behind the play who then can catch and then try to shoot the ball. Now at this point, the next advantage we're going to have is just a 5-on-5. That's still the green idea. Now we may want to have our players attack in a house formation. We may want to have them attack within a box and one, but however we want to have them attack, it should have something to do with our ultimate offensive principles, because if we're going to be utilizing our offense 6-on-6, there should be a way that we can implement that 5-on-5. So if we like 2-man games, maybe we have 2 sets of 2-man games above the goal with a single player at X. We could run Qs with 1 player at X instead of the 2, but however you want to run 5-on-5s is mainly up to you. Now the next advantage we're going to have is our 6-on-5. And for this one, I like to have them running slow breaks, but then we're going to get into our man-up sets. And so within our man-up sets, what we're going to do is we are just going to actively run man-up. And so once we get the ball into the offensive end, these players will then run one of our man-up sets. And so the ones that I like the most are our 3-3 twist. This one's super simple. The other super simple and effective one is this 22 quick. And then we have a little more complex, our 3-3 4-man wheels, which includes our Hopkins 4-man wheel and seal play. Those are very simple, but they allow for a ton of different reads, and they can be very, very beneficial if you've got players who understand how to read the field and how to move effectively, right? Like these are like play scenarios where something's going to be open. It's just about making sure that we know how to find it. Then we have a couple more kind of set pieces, which is Virginia's man-up motions into a 3-3, and then our Cheddar and Pepperjack man-up plays. These were 2 that we used last year that they hit basically every time, because it's a succession of like 4 or 5 looks in a row, and one of them was always open. It worked really, really well. Now the final set we have is our 6-on-6 moving into our offensive end. And the most important thing we want as we're moving into the offensive end is don't take stupid shots if we don't have an advantage, and basically what everyone yells yellow for, right? But so as we're swinging the ball, if we have an advantage, take it, right? We saw an advantage, we're still probing. We want to make sure that we still are looking for an advantage if it's there. But our ultimate goal is to control the tempo of the game, make sure that we are subbing in and out, and then attacking within our offense, right? We don't want to take stupid decisions, which is why everyone says yellow, which is essentially just caution. But once again, if there is an advantage, we'll find it, we'll shoot and score. And now I've got 2 slow break offenses on POWLAX.com. The first one is going to be the Duke slow break, which is out of the 21-12 motion offense, which is this Duke motion. And essentially it's a dodge, clear through, follow with the attack with the backside exchange from the midfield, and it works really well. But my absolute favorite transition offense is one that Dave Metzbauer ran at UNC. What's funny is now I see them running it at Denver, which is really cool. But so this one actually utilizes the attackmen really well, because the attackmen are the players who we want to have the ball the most, right? They can control the ball, they control the tempo of play, and essentially they're going to have a series of looks and reads and plays that they're going to be able to go through as they are controlling the ball behind the goal while everybody else is subbing. And so if the other team doesn't help support, odds are we can find looks, but ultimately it's about occupying the defense to sub in so that we can get to our offensive set. And if there's something wide open, we will run it. But so essentially what it is as we pass down, swing it to X, we're going to run a fake pick series here. Step away, and now we're going to look for a fish hook here that they hit. but oftentimes it's not there, right? And so again, here's them running it against Notre Dame. Same idea, get it to X. We're going to run through a pick, step away, and this time he comes through underneath. And so you're essentially just looking and probing and seeing if you can find a weakness in the D while they are trying to get into their defensive set. And here they found, I think the slip was open here. But ultimately, once again, the idea is not necessarily to hit this every time. It's to make sure that we are occupying the defense while we're getting into our offensive set so that we have the ability to sub. And so this was obviously 3 examples of them scoring, but it doesn't always have to be a score. But so within the confines of the full field buildup, this is what our 6-on-6 would look like as we move the first way and then also back the other way. And we may hit this within the slow break, but we also may go into our offensive sets. Now, in terms of offensive sets, that can look like whatever you would want it to look like. But for me, for our offensive sets that I like the most, I'd say the Cuse motion offense is my favorite because it's super simple. It can add in 2-man games, and it allows us to flow really, really well, where the players get to dictate and play based on what they're given, not necessarily what I want them to do. And then obviously the Ohio State pairs, the Penn State pairs offense, and 21-12 are absolutely great options that you can run with your offense within the confines of the drill because it's what you're going to run every time anyway. Now, just a quick review over how the drill is going to work. We are going to have our middies leave from the outside. We're going to get our first fast break rep, then our green rep, then our trailer break rep. Then we are going to get a 5-on-5 rep. Then we are going to get a 6-on-5 rep where we're going to run our man up if we don't find something in transition. And then finally, we are going to get our transition slow break with our offense on top of it if we don't hit it. So it's an absolutely wonderful drill. But so now if you can't get access to a full field, you can also run build-up drills in a variety of different ways. This one is just a half field build-up where we're going to get the same basic ideas of a 2-on-1, a 3v2, a 4v3, a 5v4, a 6v5, and a 6-on-6. This is actually what we like to run pregame, but when you run it, the same basic idea applies. You're going to want to try to utilize the concepts that allow you to, win the opportunity when you have that advantage. So your fast break for 4-on-3s, your trailer break for 5-on-4s, your man up for 6-on-5, and then your offense for 6-on-6. But so I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know what you guys thought down in the comment section. If you run this drill or another drill a lot like it, make sure to follow POWLAX on all social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Make sure to check out POWLAX.com. Also, I got a brand new product. It is a weighted training ball. It's really great for passing drills in practice or for players to work on their shot speed and their wrist and hand power at home. I've gotten a lot of great reviews on it, but so here's a quick video on that. Increase your shot speed over the next 3 to 5 weeks with the POWLAX weighted training ball. The POWLAX weighted training ball is a squishy ball that weighs 2 times as much as a regular ball, so that when you pick up a regular ball, it feels like a tennis ball, making your passes snappier and your shots faster. Only available through the link in my bio. Finally, if you'd like to see the playbook PDF that corresponds to this video, you can get that by becoming a POWLAX Silver member on POWLAX.com for $5 per month. You get the playbook PDF that corresponds to this and all the other videos for just $5 a month. So check it out. Have a good one. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video.